Welcome to the Unit 0 Section 4 video on the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is something that we're going to be working with quite a bit in an algebra class and even in a geometry class. It's how we visualize the math in a lot of cases. So it's important to understand several of the key features of the coordinate plane, and that's what we're going to do here in this section. So let's start off with the middle of the coordinate plane. The middle of the coordinate plane is the origin. It is, in geometry, often called point 0, and it's also the ordered pair 0, 0. Okay? And then we also have two axes. We have the x-axis, which is horizontal, and the y-axis, which is vertical. We also have four quadrants, and they're labeled with Roman numerals 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's important that when you are referring to a quadrant to use a Roman numeral to name it, because that is proper notation. In math, it is important that you use proper notation for things, because one little difference in notation can bring on an entirely different meaning. So make sure to develop the good habit now of developing good notation skills when you write things in math. It'll make your life much easier going forward. So let's talk about where these quadrants are. So in the quadrant where your x value and your y value are both positive, that is quadrant 1. Then we work our way counterclockwise around the coordinate plane. So quadrant 2 is in the upper left-hand corner, quadrant 3 is in the lower left-hand corner, and then quadrant 4 is in the lower right-hand corner. And all of this together makes up the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is the plane containing the x and y axes. Every point in the coordinate plane can be denoted by an ordered pair consisting of two numbers. The first number is the x-coordinate, and the second number is your y-coordinate. So let's talk about how we go about finding a point in the coordinate plane. So to do this, we're going to follow these steps. Start at the origin and count the number of units to the left or right of the origin. The positive direction is to the right, the negative direction is to the left. Then you're going to count the number of units up or down. The positive direction is up, the negative direction is down. So let's work through an example of this. We're going to write the ordered pair for each point shown here. Then name the quadrant as that the point is in, or the axis that it sits on. So let's start with L. Take a second and look for L. All right, once you have found L, what we're going to do is count how many units left or right of the y-axis it is. How many units left or right from the origin do we go? So we follow, and we have gone 7 units to the left. Okay, so that means we've gone -7 units in the x. Then we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have gone 5 units up. Okay, so start from the origin. You go 7 units to the left and 5 units up, and you have found L. So our coordinates are -7, 5, and that places us in quadrant 2. Now for O, you'll notice that's not far away from the origin here. Okay, it is 3 units to the right and 2 units down. So that is +3 in the x, -2 in the y. So 3, -2 is our ordered pair, and it's in quadrant 4. T is 7 units to the right and 4 units down, so that makes it 7, -4, and that's also in quadrant 4. M is 1 unit to the left and 6 units up, so -1, 6, that places us in quadrant 2. H is in the third quadrant. Okay, so find it in the third quadrant. It's 8 units to the left and 4 units down, so -8, -4. Y is also in quadrant 3, so look a little below H and you'll find Y. Since it's in quadrant 3 and both numbers were negative for h, you can guess that both are going to be negative for y as well, -9, -8. All right, let's find b. Look to the right of y and you'll find b toward the bottom there. It's 5 units to the right and 9 units down. So 5, -9, placing us in quadrant 4. And then finally for c, if we look to the left-hand side, you see it sitting right on the x-axis. 9 units to the left makes it -9. We didn't go up or down, so that gives us 0. And it is on the x-axis. It's not in any of the quadrants. It's on an axis. Now that we've talked about how to find a point on the coordinate plane, let's go the other way, and when given an ordered pair, how do we graph a point? So to do this, it means to draw a dot at the point that corresponds to the ordered pair on the coordinate plane. This is sometimes called plotting the point. When graphing an ordered pair, start at the origin. The x-coordinate indicates the number of units to move left or right, negative or positive, and the y-coordinate indicates the number of units to move up or down, positive being up, negative being down. So I'm going to bring up an ordered pair, and you're going to see where it ends up being plotted on the graph as we go along. So for the first one, -3, 0, we've gone left 3, but we didn't go up or down, so we're plotted right on the x-axis. For b, we did not go left or right, but we do go down 4, so that puts us on the y-axis. For c, we go right 2 and up 3, which puts us in quadrant 1. For d, we have gone right 7 and down 9, so that puts us in quadrant 4. For e, we have gone left 9 and up 3, which puts us in quadrant 2. And then finally for f, we've gone left 5 and down 7, which puts us in quadrant 3. Now, it's not only helpful to know how to plot on the coordinate plane, but you can kind of find things on a map this way as well. So here's a more real-world example of a way that you can use a paper map to find things based on the location of where they tell you that things are. Okay, so on the map, letters and numbers are used to form ordered pairs that name sectors on the map. We're going to name all the sectors that this river passes through. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the solution to this here, and we're going to talk through it. Okay, so first of all, here's our river. I've highlighted it on the map for you. So we're going to start in sectors B1 and C1. Okay, those are the first two rivers that the first two sectors that the river runs through. Then it travels up through sectors C2 and C3. Then it X's the map going back through sectors B3 and then A3 and A4. Barely in A4, but there is part of the river in A4, so it has to be included. And so that is how you can use coordinates to describe where things are located or where things extend on a map. Thanks for checking out my video in the Foundations in Algebra series. You can subscribe to my channel. I've got the next video queued up for you, and if you need to check out any of the videos in the course, I've got the course playlist for you here as well. Thanks for watching.